What is up, people, and welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, the electric windows were a little bit, the comments were about 50-50, to be honest. But what a lot of people need to realise with this car, I am not building the lightest and fastest minivan. It's not going to be the lightest and fastest space frame, but it's going to be one of the best. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm not building a race car. Yeah, in a way, it is going to be a race car, but I'm building the build, if you get me. It's the build that I like to do. I'm not bothered about racing. That's why the Blue Mini is in storage. I'm just not that bothered about it. But I want to build something that hasn't been done. Do you know what I mean? The way it's been built, the bits and bobs, the little intricate bits. That's what I'm building. So don't worry about weight. I'm not in Formula 1 and I'm not worried about grams. I'm thinking about the best the car can be. It may not be the fastest thing on the track, but it's going to be one of the best on the track. Do you know what I mean? So it's take the word race car out of my equation, really. It's more about the build and what we can do as a team. You get me? So today, car is on the floor. Yeah, car is on the floor. So what we've done is now the back's down. The front end is about where it needs to be. The bonnet could probably come forward a touch more. What I'm trying to get is an idea of where the wheel is in the wheel arch. Now, some of this wheel arch is going to be trimmed back. I don't need all of this. The car's not going to be this wide. So that there is here or there. I'm more worried about the centre of the arch and the other side, because we're at the point where I'm going to do today. We are going to do camber and caster. I want to know where we are, and then we can know where the wheel is going to sit. So I want to know where it sits now. Then I want to know where it sits once we've took some camber out of it. Because at the minute, the drivers is at 275 camber and the passengers is 375. But I've never really set the passenger. We only ever worked on the front drivers, didn't we? Because that was the one where we had the steering arm and that first. And I think I set it like 2. So it's gone up a little bit. So we need to get the camber and caster right, because you adjust camber, the wheel stands in. But as you adjust the camber on a Mini, the wheel also goes back, because the tie rod, you're not shrinking the tie rod, so it's swinging in. So then you need to adjust the camber, the caster. When you bring the wheel forward with the caster, it then adjusts the camber. So you have to do the camber again. And then you have to start doing your tracking. So we're going to work our way through and get the camber and caster to where about it's going to be. Then we'll measure from the front wheel to the back wheel to see what our chassis length, our wheelbase is at. Because some of the series, you can't adjust the wheelbase. So we need to try and see where we are on that. Because if we need to move, if this wheel comes too far forward, we can actually move the whole body forward before we start doing any mounting. Do you understand? That's why we need to get this done, because we can slide the whole body forwards and backwards because there's nothing mounted yet. It's just sitting there. Yeah, so that's what we need to do. The front end is sitting at about its height. That's 4 inches. Well, 1 inch of that is going to be splitter, and then there's 3-inch clearance underneath. So we're about where we need to be. So I've already slackened this bottom arm off, but I haven't actually adjusted anything yet. So we'll get the front end back off, get the bonnet off, and we'll start getting the camber and the caster done. And we'll work from there. So this car runs turnbuckles there, 5/8, these, and this is 5/8. So we know this wheel's got like a degree too much. So we just turn the middle one and it's going to bring it in. We've got to bring it in a little bit, give it a roll, take a measure. In a little bit, give it a roll, take a measure. And we'll do the same the other side. I want to get it to about 2 degrees. You could probably run this thing at 3. I don't know. But I'm going to give 2 degrees front, both sides. My blue one runs about 1.5. But that's only because it's got more camber gain than this thing's going to have. So this thing will keep a nice squarer platform on the floor during cornering. So 2 degrees, set them both at 2 degrees, and then we'll get the caster sorted and I'll show you how to do that. Just thought I'd show you, watch this thing. It's so easy to roll. It is madness. You wait until we've got a proper setup in it. It's gonna be freaking mega. Right, carry on now. Right. Basically, we are 2 degrees caster camber, 2 degrees camber, tracked up. Now I have these aluminium things. Don't know what it's called, some sort of extrusion. So I put them square with the wheels. Then I measure off the chassis to the back and square the front up, because with these tracking gauges, they can be parallel, but both you won't know which wheel's correct, if you get me. So the way I do this is the back's square with the chassis, and then the back gap is the same front and back. So now we know we are perfectly square. So now I'll take another camber check just to see where we are. Then we'll get on to caster, which is bit of an arse, I'm not gonna lie. Right then, I don't know how many of you know the old caster jobby, right? So, you got your gaffer tape, and you put a line square with your wheel, and I always put a line roughly coming out where the hub nut is, so when you roll it back, because once you've done an adjustment, you roll it forward, roll it back, you can get it sort of back where it's supposed to be. Then you get yourself one of these. I used to have a digital one, but fucked it off. I went back old school with this. ADA. They're not cheap, but they're not expensive. So this is your degrees. So you've got your camber on the outside, caster on the inside. Now, 3 degrees of camber is not 3 degrees of caster. A lot of people make that mistake. And that's your general degrees, as in where the car is that way, if you get me. So what you do is on the back there's these 2 blue lines, and you put them in line with your wheel and your tape. And then you've got your one here, which is about where the middle is, you get me? So we're sort of right down the middle of your wheel. Then you get some steel, ruler, whatever you've got. You put it there. Along that blue line, mark it out here. Yeah. Blue line. Mark it out there. Move this away. Continue your marks to the middle. Honestly, you could use masking tape, which would be better for the floor, you know, the white stuff, but it doesn't stick to my floor very well. So now, I hope you can see that, we have our black line on the floor. Ah yes, you can see, can't you? So I've just put it on there. And then what I do is get tape again and put it on the inside, because when the wheel's turned, it's pulling away from the line, isn't it? So get your tape, put it on the inside of the line. And that is the line you're going to work to. Because your caster, you do it at 20 degrees either way. And that is 20 degrees. Do you get me? Ideally, if you had a painted floor, you just use masking tape. So that is 20 degrees, 20 degrees. Now what you normally do is you start on the back foot and then put your front foot forward. So this wheel, we would turn it back to 20 degrees, take a measurement on the caster. So whatever that is, say if it's 3, yeah, write it down. Bring this forward to 20 degrees, take a reading, add those two numbers together, you have your caster angle. Yeah? Simple. Now on my Blue Mini, I've got rack limiters. CAD rack limiters. On my Blue Mini, lock to lock is 20 degrees. So it's so easy. This hasn't got any rack limiters in it yet. So, I need to block up the rear wheels with these. So otherwise, when you turn, if you're running a shit ton of caster, the car will want to roll. Oh, I've got to take my rack stop out, haven't I? At the moment, I just keep this rack stop in to keep the dust out because I've lost the little black thing that fucking goes in the hole. I'll probably make one out of something. But that's one of my rack stops, look. It's just an M10. There's 2 different racks though. Some are 3/8 UNF and some are M10. So it's an M10 bolt, Allen key, with an Allen key welded in the end of it. Turn that down. I'll even tell you what you've got to turn it down to. So, this is a bit awkward, isn't it? OD, it's like 6mm, yeah, and the length 11mm, say 11mm. So 11mm by 6mm, and if you take that little cap out of your rack, some of them haven't got them, but there's a little cap here. Take it out, and if you look inside, you'll see a hole in the inner rack. You screw that in, then your rack is dead centre. Just a bit of information for you. Right, now let's see. We'll do that wheel first. Say that looks about 20 degrees. Let's have a look on this side. Maybe a little bit over. Yeah. Can't tell because the wheel's sticking out too far. So that's 20 degrees. 20 degrees. See how we're in line with the black stuff? See why I put the tape on the inside of the line? Otherwise it would be out here. So that's 20 degrees. Move you to here. Get a measurement together, shall we? Where's my notepad? Not anymore. So then we'll put this on here. Doesn't quite fit to the wheel rim, but these AR1s have got like a lip on the tyre, so it does really help. So that is like zero caster on the back foot. So this is passenger side, 0 on the back, and then we'll go the other way. See how we're trying to roll forwards and backwards? Maybe there. Yeah, looks about right. See, what I'll do is I'll put the rack limiters in this car at 20 degrees, same as my other car. I've never had an issue running out of steering lock, so I just run the same. You get around the airpit in Mallory Park, you can get around friggin' anywhere. And this one should be around 6-ish. So if we look at that, we are, there's 5, 5.5. That is pretty close. If you look, it's dead on 5.5. It should be around 6. But because we've took the camber out of it, the wheels pivoted back. So we probably have lost. I took a degree of camber out, did I? Degree? No, it's 3.7, so a degree and a half. So we are 5.5 degrees of caster. 5.5. So that is completely 5.5. Catch my drift? So you've done it that way and that way and added them together. Yeah? You get me? It's weird. You just add the numbers together and you get what you get. Right then, so we're 5.5. Let me check the other one. Oh, I've got a fucking pen in my hand. I've got my earphones on my head. So this one, you want to get it so your string is just hovering off the board. You know what I mean? So you're not got any friction. There we go. This one is 2.25. 2.3. We'll go 2.3. Where's my pad? 2.3 off. This is much easier as well when you've got these old turn plates. You can buy these, the cheapest chips off eBay. So that looks about right. Check again to the side. Yep. What I should have done is took a note of where the steering wheel should be. Say about there. So this one is 5. So that's like 7.3 degrees of caster. What did I set them at? Did I set them like 6.5? Well, 7.5 isn't that bad because it's got power steering anyway. But can you see the difference then? So it's 5.5, 5, 6, 7.3. So we've got to get them the same, haven't we? So really this one needs to come back and that one needs to go forward. If I can get it to like, my Blue Mini runs at like, is it 6 degrees? And I think I could go a little bit more. I really do. Especially with the power steering. I reckon I could probably run closer to 7. I might set them both at 7. Put the front end on. Then we can see whereabouts we are with that. So to adjust this, this one's got to go less. So this needs extended to push. Basically, your caster is the angle between this ball joint and that ball joint. Yeah? So that one's got to go back. And this one, you can clearly see this one's got to go forward at the bottom. So I'll do that. I'll then also measure the angle of the rack. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm going to lengthen that one, shorten that one, do those measurements again, and do the camber again, then do the toe, then check the caster. You literally just go around in a circle. Basically, camber, caster, toe, camber, caster, toe, camber, caster, toe, until you get to roughly where you want it to be. Well, I say roughly, ideally, that's where you want it to be. So I'll do all that again, and I'll bring you back in a minute. Right, so I'm chasing my arse a little bit with this. And then I realised the CV boot joints were loose. So make sure your CV joint is tight before you mess around with it. So I've got it pretty close. We're like 6.5 degrees caster, about 2 degrees, 1.3 quarters of camber. So we're pretty close. And I decided I'm going to try my steel wheels on, even though the offsets are all about the same, they just don't stick out as much. Just to make sure I've got clearance on my steering arms. And I've jacked it up so it's off the floor. Right, and look at the line of the tape on the floor. And we put that on earlier to show how square we were with the tyre. We're pretty much zero bump steer on droop. That back wheel has got an awful lot of towing, so you ignore that wheel. But we are virtually no bump and droop, so quite happy with that. I just thought about it when I stood it up. I was like, the tape on the floor. We are dead square with it. Anyway, I'm just going to put the other wheel on and then have another whip around just to make sure we are pretty close. So, made a little bit of a change to the van. Don't know who's going to like it, but I wasn't quite happy with how it was. So look. This is a Maguire front end. Now, the other one was extremely wide, right? Where this one is not extremely wide, because the Maguires, there's two different front ends, this one and the really wide one, which I didn't like. So I've gone with this one because the engine sort of fits underneath it, doesn't it? The throttle body's on, so you've got to ignore that throttle body's on there. But I think with this, and what I've done is I've put those wheels on the rack, so they're much further in. And what I'm trying to do is see roughly where the wheels are going to be. Then I can take a measurement for the inside, because it's going to have a lot more tyre on the inside than on the outside. Now, it's okay at the moment. The front end is a little bit that way, right? Because the rocker cover is just catching on here. So it's sort of, it's not letting me go over without the front end coming up slightly. So I think what I might do is bring the body forward a little bit. It literally only needs like 10 mil, 10, 50 maybe. So when it's back on the table, I'll work out how far I can come forward so this bar is still hidden behind the pillar. You know, it's not going to be much, but if I could just gain that little slither of moving the body forward just to give me that little bit more forward movement, because it's literally sitting on this corner. And because it goes away, if I come forward, we're good. Apart from that, there's pretty much clearance. Everything, I don't know if you'll see, everything else has got clearance, look. Yeah? You've still got room for the radiator at the front. Throttle bodies, yeah, we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle, but we knew we were going to struggle anyway. So, we may end up with just having the throttle body sticking out if I can't get them down far enough, because RLM don't do the kit for the Gen Vs. They only do the kit for the standard Gen 2, Gen 3 throttle bodies, where mine are big bore Gen V ones. So I can either spend 1,800 quid with them on their 50-degree bodies, or try and make my own. So we're probably going to try and make my own adapters. So that is that. Anyway, this is what I think what I'm going to go for, is the way it is there. Now, the front end under there hasn't changed. I've done a bit of caster and camber setting, just little bits, like 1.5 degrees camber, about 6.5 degrees caster, just to get the wheels where I roughly want them to be. We are clearing the front end at the minute with these. We've got massive amount of steering lock, so we've got to work out how far I want the steer wheels to turn once we've got a drive shaft in. So we'll put a drive shaft in it, we'll turn it on full lock, listen for it to bind, back it off, take a measurement, and that's where we'll make our rack limiters. So I wouldn't mind this to be able to turn a little bit more, because my blue one, you don't get much turn for your pennies, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we're going to go with this front end because I already had it anyway, and we will work from there, I think. So body forward, mount body, front end, yeah, we'll figure out how to mount that later. The splitter that's on it now is the spare one off the blue car, so it is probably, you might run it, it might not. But when I designed this car, that splitter should have been up another inch, but it's not. I'm running it. I was going to cut around the chassis and have it slide in. But the way I managed to get the sprocket so low is I've got to run this underneath the chassis now, the same as it runs underneath the blue car. It's not really going to cause me any issues. But the issue I've had at the minute is I've lost interest in the car. I just can't be bothered with it. I've got my rear lights, they came. I've got my rear door hinges. If I can get one out for you. They are a little bit heavy, but I am going to lighten them up a bit because it's a big race car. Ta-da! So these are proper van hinges. Well, they're not van hinges. These apparently are like Moggy Minor hinges or something, but they're very similar to the van hinges, because this is going to have 2 working back doors. Someone I know is going to give me the internal lock is made out of billet, so that'll be all billet, and the shafts. Someone's giving me the lock because it's longer apparently on the van. So I've got the lights. My friend has the mould for the rear bumpers. My other mate from Special K, Pete, is doing me the diffuser and the side skirts. The rear arches are done at Leslie's. I may have found a spoiler. It's whether I want to spend 650 quid on a fucking spoiler. I managed to pick this up off eBay. There's the cables. I'll probably give it away. This Quaife shifter. So this is their newer design one. It's like, I think it's like a bit like an alien head. Basically, I couldn't sleep and I was on eBay at like 1:30 in the morning and it just came up. I was like, let's have one of them then, shall we? It was cheap, like really cheap, like really, really cheap. So it will go in there somewhere, possibly. We may have to make a section, a centre section, because this is replaceable. You can cut this down on her. Well, this came out of a bike engine car, so we won't be able to know where this is going to go until the seats are in and my dry sump tank's back, and then we're going to have to see where this can go, measure up for a new cable, because this one long cable, these cables are just too long, both of them, to be honest. So yeah, that was cheap. But as I say, I've lost interest in it. I just come up here now and just freaking stand here. So, I don't know what to do. I really need to do something. I just can't be bothered with it. Really can't. I've got the door hinges to make. Can't be bothered. There's other stuff that needs making, it's can't bother. I've done all the electrics for my swager to put the motor on the swager. Gears have come for that, I can't be arsed. So yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. Maguire front end. I haven't really done anything else. Swapped 2 wheels, put the Maguire on and spent some money. I was thinking about starting another chassis because I've got the other front end, I've got a spare body, spare set of arches, I've got a boot lid. Thought about making a basic chassis just to sell with a body and that, just to make some money, to spend the money on this. Could be why I'm losing a bit of interest because I haven't got the money to build the bloody thing. You know what I mean? Everything I'm buying is thousands, not hundreds, so it's getting a bit expensive. So I thought about starting to make a chassis, throw a body and shit on it, get it gone, money in the pot for the radical van. So what I might do at the minute is I might have a look at the seats, but I really just can't bother. I might just go in the house, have a cup of tea and do nothing. Right, that is just an update. Thanks for watching the time lapse, by the way, because I didn't really put anything up last week, did I? I've also got a power feed unit for the milling machine that's been in that box now for, yeah. Right, as you can tell, my head's not exactly right, so I'm not in it. Fucked up my meds, didn't I? Right, catch you next one, people. See you later.